My name is Lindy Matthews. I have 3 children and I live in the Leander area. I am the Vice President of the Cedar Park Chamber of Commerce, and I spend most of my day working and taking care of my children. And I'm currently a single parent, so I do have my children all the time. My coworkers call me Mom Uber because I'm constantly having to leave to go drive someone somewhere and come back. It's probably the hardest but most fulfilling thing I've ever done because I'm raising young humans, and it's my job to teach them to grow up and contribute to the world.
Well, my name is Laura Hayes. I'm almost 52 years old. I have 4 kids, 3 girls and a boy, and I have 5 grandbabies. Your grandkids is like a totally different kind of love. I mean, you bend over backwards for your kids and stuff and do things for your kids, but your grandkids, oh.
We moved here about 6 years ago. At the time, my job had been eliminated. During that time, I was uninsured for roughly 5 or 6 months, which is what enabled us to be able to get in touch with Samaritan Health Ministries.
I moved here back in 2013. My now ex-husband, and he unexpectedly lost his job, and we were suddenly without insurance. And I have lupus, and I needed all the medicine that goes with that. It's an invisible illness. You look fine, but you're in pain all the time. You feel like you have the flu all the time. And so I have already lost 1 kidney to my lupus, and the possibility of me losing my second one is pretty good. So at some point I'll probably need a transplant. I think what really bothers me the most is how it feels like sometimes I feel like I'm less than a mother because of having it. I was starting up a flare, and it was sort of a panic as to what we were going to do, because if you can't stop these flares, you end up in the hospital.
Well, my husband works full-time and I work part-time, and even with the money that we both make, it's still too expensive for us to get health insurance. I was diagnosed with diabetes when I was 35. About 4 years ago, I guess my thyroid levels were kind of off, and Samaritan referred me to Baylor Scott & White. They sent me to get a biopsy, and I had the beginning of cancer on my left side.
Kylie was having these bumps on the back of her head and neck, and it seemed like every day there was like a new one. Started to kind of get concerned. We had some blood work done. We met with neurology, hematology, dermatology. I mean, they tested her for everything. Anything and everything they literally tested her for. Because her white blood count was still going lower, they thought maybe that she did have leukemia, which was certainly devastating for us.
Because I was just waiting for what the results were. So it's kind of hard not knowing what was wrong with me at the time, because I just wanted to be a normal kid. I just wanted to go play soccer. I missed all my soccer practices. So it's just really hard not being my normal self.
As a parent, you keep that front. Everything's great, but deep down you know that there's something going on with your child that you just can't really see what it is until that you get that diagnosis.
Now she has all these other symptoms. She can't even hold a pencil. She couldn't even make her own bed, her hands. She couldn't pull her sheets. There was one night where we're all sitting on the couch watching a movie, and she physically could not stand up. Chris carried her into bed that night. Never did we have that down like we did.
We would have done anything to make sure that we found out what was going on, regardless of insurance or not. We would have gone in debt, I think, as any parent would do for their child.
My boss recommended Samaritan Health Ministries to me. So I went one night, and I saw the provider. Everybody was so kind to me. And she said, we're gonna take care of you. And they did. And they got me the medicine that I needed. And I was able to avoid going into the hospital. It was kind of like coming to a little family. I can't thank them enough. And while we no longer need their services, I am still very loyal. I help whenever I can, and I recommend them to people who find themselves in hard times. I think that Samaritan plays a huge role in our community because I don't really believe there's anybody else out there in our community that helps people who are uninsured. They're ready to see you right away. They want to help you now.
My whole surgery was covered 100%, which is amazing because I didn't know what we were going to do. I mean, it ended up being just the beginning of cancer, so they caught it in time, you know, which is fantastic. But without Samaritan Health Mission, I don't know what I would have done. I mean, I probably would have been in the hospital a lot, racking up tons of bills, you know. And if I hadn't had a primary care doctor through Samaritan, this wouldn't have been diagnosed as soon as it should have been.
The Samaritan Health Ministries helped us more than we ever could have imagined. So after all of those puzzles, all of those doctors, they figured out that Kylie has lupus. So had we not found them, we would have had probably thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars worth of debt. So it was really a blessing that we were able to find them.
It can happen to anybody. I vowed that when we're back on our feet, we'll always give back. And that was from the heart, and that's what we've done. We want to make sure that we're able to give back to Samaritan so they can keep doing and growing and doing what they do good for families, because they're there for a reason, that they're selfless.
It was really kind of a eye-opening moment to realize that you're really only one job loss away from losing insurance, that it can happen to anybody.
Donate to Samaritan Health Ministries. You know, it's such a wonderful, good place to do it, you know, because they help all kinds of people no matter what.
Give what you can. If everybody gives just a little bit, it really helps. And to know that you're giving someone their life back, their ability to spend time with their children, their ability to live longer, just to know that you've helped with that, it's just the greatest thing.